সাংবাদিক বৈঠকে কেন্দ্রীয় অর্থমন্ত্রী নির্মলা সীতারামন, আমরা সরাসরি নজর রাখবো সেদিকে।
The plan which we are there. So ma'am has also mentioned that the ongoing transactions will be carried on and they will be completed, and these transactions, as and when they mature, they come to that. And secondly, on the revised estimates being 78, we should not also conjecture what will be the size of LIC IPO based on that, because valuation is yet to reach the final conclusion based on which we will do that. And there have been instances of actual receipts being different from even the RE figures, so you should not read too much into it.
Okay, 122.
Hi ma'am, Meghna Mittal from Newsrise. The budget has remained completely silent on India's listing on the foreign indices. There was an expectation that a tax amendment might happen to enable that. Has that been put on hold, or what is the plan on that?
Just repeat your question. I think your voice was a bit muffled.
Ma'am, I'm Meghna Mittal from Newsrise. My question is that the budget has remained silent on India's listing on the foreign indices. The expectation was of a tax amendment to enable that. So has that plan been put on hold, or what is the update on that?
You're referring to the bond indices,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The issue is that the NR to NR transactions are anyway tax-free. So there's no capital gains. The issue was between NR and resident. So the BEPS discussions are on for us. And in those discussions, we are actually saying that the capital gains tax right should come to the country where the transactions emanate from. So that has been our stand. And those discussions are still on, and we are the one who's propounding that thing, and that's how it is moving, those discussions. So this was not the right time for us to take a decision in a manner where we give up on our own domestic thing while we keep fighting in the BEPS discussions. So that was the basic reason that we didn't want to do it this year.
Number 90.
Ma'am, firstly, congratulations. Just two quick clarifications. One is on cryptocurrency, because you did touch about the RBI now giving digital rupee, and it will start from next year. And you've reflected that in the finance bill. You've also taxed cryptocurrency, but there's no regulation. So how are you going to work on that? I'm a little bit keen to understand that. And the other issue, of course, is that in your speech, which was very well put, there was one key issue which affects all of us, including you, inflation. How are you going to deal with that?
First thing, Sunil, I said the Reserve Bank will be issuing a digital currency. Currency becomes a currency is a currency only when it is issued by the central bank, even if it's a crypto. By anything which is outside of that, loosely all of us refer it to the cryptocurrency. They are not currencies. So let's first understand we are not taxing currency that is yet to be issued, and that provision is now made, and a currency in the name of digital rupee will be issued. Exact name you'll get a bit later, but Reserve Bank.
আমরা সরাসরি নজর
I
রাখবো
have
সেদিকে।
referred to the consultation which we've had with them, and then said that we will appoint a committee which will go through it and come back to the government with suggestions.
255.
Ma'am, Gyaneshwar Dayal from Jan Express. I have a question, actually two questions. When can we expect the farmers' income to double? Number one. And
When
number
can we expect the pharmaceutical?
farmers' income to double? It was supposed to double in 2022. And how far is the goal of 5 trillion economy? And in what way your budget would take us there? Thank you.
Who wants to? I mean, will Ananta Nageshwaran want to answer it?
So if you look at the amount of minimum support prices that was given out this year, and also the record procurement, so we are well on our way to helping the
Is
farmers.
your mic all right? Or do you want to, the voice is not coming out.
So if you look at the amount of minimum support prices that have been handed out to farmers in terms of the food grains procured from them, as well as the quantity of food grains procured from farmers, it does suggest very strongly that we are well on the way to helping farmers substantially improve their income. Those statistics are given in Madam's speech document as well. As far as the $5 trillion economy size is concerned, if you look at the fact that in the year ending 21-22, as well as in the next financial year, we are the fastest growing economy among large economies, and our GDP in dollar terms has already crossed $3 trillion. So depending on how the exchange rate moves, and there is enough hope to believe that the Indian rupee will in fact remain stable to strong, given what is going on in the developed world. And if we continue to retain the path of 8% real GDP growth, it will translate into even 8% dollar GDP growth. So therefore, if we extrapolate it, in the financial year 25-26 or by 26-27, with some luck even by 25-26 itself, we should be at the $5 trillion size in terms of nominal GDP. Thank you.
मैं उसमें जोड़ना चाहती हूँ. Sorry, I didn't get your name. ज्ञानेश्वर जी, एक आध विषय मैं जोड़ना चाहती हूँ उसमें. I'll just list out the things, you'll understand where I'm coming from. MSP, यूरिया, माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स, मैं एक सिर्फ यूरिया सब्सिडी का नंबर बोलती हूं. बजट 21-22, मतलब 1 फरवरी 21 में जो बजट दिया गया, उसमें 58,768 was the allocation for urea subsidy. This time it is 63,222 आने वाले साल के लिए. ठीक है? और एक्चुअली 58,768 जो बीई में बोला गया यूरिया सब्सिडी, वो आरई में 75,930. इसका मतलब है कि इंटरनेशनल यूरिया प्राइसेस जितने भी इंक्रीज नहीं हुए, इट्स ऑल राइट, इट गॉट इंक्रीज्ड, मगर वो बोझ किसान के ऊपर पड़ने नहीं दिया. प्रधानमंत्री जी ने उसको तुरंत इंटरवीन करके, that burden we took, we didn't put it on the farmer. So MSP, urea, nutrient in terms of micronutrients which we are giving for farmers, 6,000 rupees Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi. Additional income कमाने के लिए किसान के लिए शहद का कल्टीवेशन, हनी, बी कीपिंग का प्रावधान, उसको समर्थन और उसका एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ाने के लिए ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ मार्केट लिंकेजेस थ्रू ई कॉमर्स. फिर सोलार पंप्स, उनके वाटर पंपिंग के लिए किसान के लिए सोलार पैनल वगैरह दिया गया है, जिससे उनका ऊर्जा का एक्सपेंस कम होगा. फिर मैंने शायद जुलाई 19 के बजट में या 20 के बजट में ये बात बोली, अन्नदाता क्यों ऊर्जा दाता नहीं बन पाएंगे? जरूर बन पाएंगे. वी मेड श्योर दैट एवरी किसान विल प्रोड्यूस बिजली यूजिंग सोलर पैनल्स इन हिज फील्ड, and he can also uplink that and earn money from the government for supplying urja. Finally, in this budget, I've also made an announcement for food processing, which is at the farm gate, so that investments can happen there. Post-harvest grains को तुरंत processing में वो किसान देने के कारण उनका income better rates मिलता है उनको. So there are several steps that we are taking for improving farmers' income. I want you to please take cognizance of it.
इसके अलावा एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट
वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है.
वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. इस साल टारगेट 16.5 लाख करोड़ का था, जो अभी तक 75% हो गया है. अगर आप देखेंगे आज से 16-17 में वो 10,65,000 करोड़ था, तो ये बढ़कर अब 16,50,000 करोड़ इस साल होगा। अगले साल हमारा लक्ष्य है इसको 18 लाख करोड़ तक पहुंचाने के लिए। तो एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट में भी काफी बढ़ोतरी हुई।
Okay, 125.
Ma'am, Timsi Jaipuria this side from CNBC TV 18. Your tax revenue collection targets are conservative, but your borrowing numbers are all-time high. How do you explain that? And secondly, when it comes to public sector expenditure, the capex expenditure for RE 2022, they have been revised downwards. How do you explain growth along with these downward revisions?
First, on the, you're saying that the capital expenditure targets for the RE have been moved downwards. From how much to how much, according to you? Okay. No, not in the capital expenditure budget estimate was 5,54,000 crores. The revised estimate, after removing the actual revised estimate is 6,03,000 crores. But even if you exclude 52,000 crores, which is an Air India sundry dues repayment, it is 551. So the RE is 551 against a budget estimate of 554. That is statistically insignificant. Okay. No, not in the capital expenditure budget estimate was 5,54,000 crores. The revised estimate, after removing the actual revised estimate is 6,03,000 crores. But even if you exclude 52,000 crores, which is an Air India sundry dues repayment, it is 551. So the RE is 551 against a budget estimate of 554. That is statistically insignificant. So basically the capital expenditure targets are expected to be achieved.
I think this question was also asked by your colleague Sapna here, that the revenues are conservative. So if we look at revenues and compare it with the GDP figures, I would also like you to concentrate on the fact that the excise duty is not linked to that. Excise duty is a specific duty, so that doesn't go up as the prices would go up. One, and secondly, if you recall, we have reduced the excise duty on diesel and petrol by 10 rupees and 5 rupees per litre. So if we take away the excise duty numbers both from the RE of the current year and the B of the next year, then the growth in the revenues is more than 14%, which I think is not conservative, but is a very pragmatic number, and we would make all attempts to achieve that.
Number 70, number 70, number 70.
No, the borrowing number is nothing but the fiscal deficit minus the expected small savings collections and the other sources. So they tally. I mean, it is 16,61,000 is the total fiscal deficit. 11,80,000 or something is the net borrowing requirement. The difference is small savings and certain other sundry receipts. I don't see any, there is no artificial, that's a very realistic number. It's based on our best estimate of what will be collected in small savings, and net of that is the borrowing requirement.
Ujjwal Narayan from Newsrise. Ma'am, in last year budget, you have announced about privatization of two state-run banks. But this year, there is nothing that sort has been confirmed in the budget. Just wanted to know what is the situation. Does government is going with the stated policy which it stated in last year budget, and that for the privatization of two state-run banks? And what is the holistic policy on the privatization of bank and insurance company as a whole?
You've answered the question yourself. What is the holistic policy? Holistic policy is a continuation of last year's budget. I've said that. This budget in every aspect is a continuation of last budget, inclusive of the privatization matter that you're talking about. That's what I'm telling you. We are continuing that agenda. All right?
Number 68.
Status budget. Sorry? Yeah, I said Air India also, and I've done the Air India, haven't I? Huh? That's right. When we have something, you will get to know, no? I'm not doubting it. Huh? That's right. Thanks for अब मैं दोहराऊंगी मगर वो अगर आपको गोलमोल लग रही है मैं किसी और से जवाब दूंगी क्योंकि मेरा बोलने का तरीका शायद आपको हिंदी में और इंग्लिश में दिक्कत है I'll ask somebody else to answer it. There is no गोलमोल सर बजट जब प्लान करते हैं और एसेंशियल सर्विसेज का एक कमिटी जो है मंत्रीगण का ये बार बार हम बैठते हैं बात करते हैं हाँ जब इंक्रीज होता है प्राइस एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज का मैं मानती हूं आम आदमी के ऊपर उसका दिक्कत जरूर पड़ेगा उसको मैं नकार नहीं रही हूं मगर ऑयल सीड्स ऑयल एडिबल ऑयल का प्रॉब्लम जब हुआ तुरंत हमने ड्यूटी कम करते हुए पाम ऑयल का इंपोर्ट बढ़ाने के लिए एक बार नहीं 2 बार कोशिश की और पाम ऑयल का इंपोर्ट क्रूड पाम ऑयल का इंपोर्ट और रिफाइंड भी ज्यादा आ रही है जिसका असर आजकल एडिबल ऑयल में जरूर पड़ रही है और मार्केट में खबर भी है इन्फ्लेशन दूसरा एक और विषय एडिबल पेरिशेबल कमोडिटीज के ऊपर जब होता है उसको भी इंपोर्ट के द्वारा तुरंत हेल्प करने के लिए हम स्टेप्स उठाते हैं फिर ऑयल सीड्स भारत देश में भी कल्टीवेट हो उसका उत्पादन ज्यादा होने के कारण हम आत्मनिर्भर हो एडिबल ऑयल में उसका भी इस बजट में एक अनाउंसमेंट हुआ है ऐसे करके बहुत सारे कदम हम उठा रहे हैं एक और विषय सिंपल टेक्निकल बात में जिक्र करना चाहती हूं हां जरूर जनता के ऊपर प्राइसेस के वजह से जब ट्रबल होता है उसमें एक्शन लेने का जिम्मेदारी सरकार के ऊपर है और हम बार बार उसके ऊपर कदम उठाते आ रहे हैं मगर टेक्निकली 6% से ज्यादा कभी ब्रीच ही नहीं छोटा इधर उधर एक महीना हुआ होगा 6% ब्रीच करने का इन्फ्लेशन का विषय में मैं याद दिलाना चाहती हूं कि सरकार 2014 से लेकर आज तक we have not allowed it to go to double digits. जो याद होगा आपको उससे पहले 2014 से पहले it was always in the range of 10, 11, 12, 13, even food products. इसलिए इन्फ्लेशन के ऊपर इस सरकार की ध्यान कभी भी ज्यादा है और एक्शंस भी तुरंत हम लेते हैं अगर ये भी आपको गोलमोल लगता है मैं किसी और से भी जवाब देने के लिए बोलूंगी ठीक है बोलिए चूज करिए किसी के एम्प्लॉयमेंट के बारे में मैं जरूर बोलूंगी बहुत सारे मैं भाई साहब पैंडेमिक के वजह से पूरे दुनिया में बहुत उथल पुथल हुआ जॉब्स में नुकसान हुआ बहुत देशों में हमारे यहां भी मगर हमने आत्मनिर्भर भारत के दौरान बहुत सारे ऐसे अनाउंसमेंट किया जिसमें बहुत लोगों के जॉब्स इंटैक्ट रही हाँ जिनको नुकसान हुआ उनको अभी हम धीरे धीरे बहुत स्कीम्स के द्वारा हेल्प करके आ रहे हैं ये नहीं नकार आई मीन आई एम नॉट डिनाइंग दैट देयर हैज बीन इम्पैक्ट ऑन जॉब्स मगर एकदम कुछ नहीं किया वो सही भी नहीं है कल का इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में अनंत नागेश्वरन जी और हमारे प्रिंसिपल इकोनॉमिक एडवाइजर आई थिंक हिज हियर संजीव सन्याल इतना विस्तृत रूप में जॉब्स के लिए क्या क्या पिछले साल में हुआ वो डिटेल दिए हैं मैं संजीव से बोलूंगी आपको जरा इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करने के लिए हाँ सो इट विल हेल्प यू टू नो थैंक यू
Number 260.
सोमनाथन वांट्स टू
Yes.
Just specifically on job. Yeah, but specifically on jobs and specifically what is in the budget. So one is there is an additional 2 lakh crores of lending to MSMEs which is outside the ECLGS. So ECLGS is for those affected. It's an automatic program for existing borrowers. This is for new lending to MSMEs unconnected with ECLGS. 2 lakh crore of additional provision has been made in this budget. ECLGS has, as already mentioned, been expanded for the hospitality and related sectors. The outlay on Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana is up by 27%. And in addition to that, a provision is being made that in the capital expenditure support to state governments, if state governments have if certain priority projects in PM Gram Sadak Yojana have been identified, we will even take the 40% state share on those components so that the states have no burden in carrying out these works. These are extremely labor-intensive projects, and in addition, of course, there is a huge increase in capital expenditure. It has a very high employment effect. We have a new scheme for the Northeast, which is abbreviated as PM Divine, which is the PM's development initiative for the Northeast. This is a gap-filling scheme where if something doesn't fit in any existing scheme, Northeastern states can pose those projects to this fund, and this fund will give 100% funding for those projects. In addition, we have the production-linked incentive schemes where we expect 60 lakh jobs to be created. Most of them are getting rolled out now one by one. So there are a number of initiatives in this budget, quite apart from what has been done earlier.
हम बार बार देते आ रहे हैं. Actually, sharing of information विदेश से, स्विट्जरलैंड से 2018 के बाद में से शेयरिंग हो रही है. विदेश में जो अकाउंट्स है उनमें कितना पैसा पड़ा हुआ है उनको वापस ले आने के लिए. सो वो शेयरिंग के मुताबिक जो इंफॉर्मेशन आते हैं उसके ऊपर वी आर वर्किंग एवरी अकाउंट बाय अकाउंट फॉर ब्लैक मनी टू बी ब्रॉट. एंड अनदर थिंग, टुडे द एनपीएस इन द बैंक्स आर कमिंग डाउन. Banks are getting the money back of those who have fled the country. Having taken the money of the banks and having gone out, वो पैसा जब वापस आ रही है वो भी in a way partly black money ही होता है जी, जिसका टैक्स नहीं भरा, बैंक को पैसा चीट करके चले गए. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ पूरे के पूरे वो ब्लैक है, उसमें भी ब्लैक मनी है.
260.
मैम आनंद हूँ इंडिया टीवी से. हाँ मैम, आपके लिए भी उधर से बहुत वैसे सवाल आ रहे थे.